It's Rob and Liz, and with us today, literally, not on Zoom, but in the studio, Austin French. So good to have Austin French along with us this morning. So he was just a snot-nosed kid. I'm going to say 9 or 10. A delicate way to put it.
Oh, man.
And at 9 or 10, he walks into this church, actually 18 years old.
Oh, man,
called the Journey Church. And at 18, you're the worship leader.
Yeah, I was.
At the Tifton, Georgia.
Tifton, Georgia. I literally went to lead worship for the college ministry one night. That's actually the night I met my wife at this college ministry. And then 2 months later, they were like, hey, would you be interested in being our worship pastor? I was like, you realize I'm 18. I have no idea what I'm doing. Cool. We're down for it. And they just let me be the worship pastor, and I grew and I learned a lot. I was leading guys on my team that were like twice my age, and so I kind of had this Moses complex a little bit of like, man, God, is this really supposed to be me? Like, should I be doing this? And I just found out that when I was honest with people, it didn't matter the age I was. People value honesty. So when I called it falling forward, because I did that a lot of just like, oh, you know what? I didn't handle this right. Will you guys forgive me and let's move forward together? And
okay, did you notice how he glossed over and he said, this is where I met my wife? By the way, then I was
I gotta ask, like, what was that like? Did you see her?
Oh, well,
and just, hey, girl.
So we were in the same small group that night. And number one, I saw her and I'm like, oh, she's gorgeous. Yeah. And then she started talking about Jesus, and I'm like, I'm going to put a ring on this. Like
you knew then?
Oh, I knew right then I wanted to marry her. I drove like an hour and a half to my buddy's house, and I was like, I'm going to marry this girl. They're like, what's her name? I was like, I have no idea. No idea.
Don't know.
But I'm going to marry her. And then sure enough, about a year later is when we got married.
So wait a minute. So did she know? I mean,
she had no idea that I felt that way at first. And then she thought I was cute, but she thought I had the ugliest shoes ever.
What kind of shoes?
Oh, yeah.
It was olive green Toms.
Girl, Joe, I feel
yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why she dated me.
But how?
And I had the Bieber swoop. Look at that thing.
You did have the Bieber swoop. Yeah, the hair was very Bieber-esque.
She loved me when I was at my worst, and she really did. She saw the heart.
How'd you get up the nerve?
Oh, I didn't. She asked me out.
No.
Yep. I was
How'd
terrified.
you do that?
I don't know. I wish I could teach a class. It just didn't. She basically said, I really like coffee. And I'm like, that's awesome. And she was like, I really like to drink coffee with friends. I'm like, that's really cool. She's like, will you just please take me to go get coffee sometime? I'm like, oh, yeah,
so
totally.
You didn't catch the signs where you're supposed to ask the question?
Yep,
I love your wife.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. She definitely stepped in and saved the day. And
that's crazy cool. Okay, so it looks like you've gone everywhere together. I saw you at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, I took her to Disney World for the first time. It was her first time ever to Disney World. And it was really cool. We definitely have seen a lot of things, traveled a lot of places. It's been really cool.
So he does this post on his Instagram, and it's like, no, I think she did. Either you or she did, because we looked at her page, and it was like 16 days before the wedding.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind 16 days before you actually tied the knot?
I was literally in Los Angeles, and she was in Georgia. She was flying out on the weekends to come see me perform on this TV show I was on called Rising Star in L.A. And, it was wild. It was kind of like, are we gonna get married? How are we gonna get married? In the middle of this TV show, and it was incredible. It was beautiful, and we got married 16 days later after that picture. It was great.
And you looked beautiful. I mean, both of you absolutely looked stunning on the day of your wedding.
Thank you. I think we looked like babies.
You do look like babies.
We were. She was 19. I was 20. Yeah. And we were. It was crazy.
Now, 3 kids later.
6 years later. We had a 5-year plan to start having kids. That didn't happen. And but I wouldn't change it. It's been a wild journey, and she's my best friend.
2 biological and 1 adopted.
Yeah, we adopted. So the start of our 5-year plan changing is when we met our oldest. He was 4 months old the day he got rescued out of living in a van, and we, in a moment, it just felt like God whispered I was his daddy, and so we just started fighting for him through foster care, and it took like a year and a half for him to finally come to be adopted by us, and then 2 months after he came to live with us, my wife gave birth to our natural born son Owen, and being a dad's probably my favorite title. It's been amazing.
And you have a baby girl just born on Christmas
don't get me started. She is the light of my life. Oh my goodness. My boys are like tornadoes. They are incredible, but they just wreck everything, and I love it because that's who I was as a kid. But my baby girl is like the opposite, and it's so refreshing.
You need to see the twinkle in the eyes as he talks about baby Louise.
Yeah, she just does something to my heart.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I cry a lot more now.
Index finger wrapped around.
That's
right.
Yeah. It's not a lot of circulation there because she's just holding it so tight.
Austin French with us this morning on his radio. He is live and unplugged today, and this is Austin's latest. It's called Wake Up Sleeper. Let's hear it.
Thank God for the daylight. I spent a long time in the dark. It felt good saying goodbye. Waking up to a brand new heart. So if you're sleeping like I used to be, in a grave that holds you tight, there's a Savior calling, promising a brand new life. He's saying, wake up, sleeper, open your eyes. Oh, sinner, rise, leave your past at the door. Wake up, sleeper, come to the light. Oh, Christ is alive. Death don't live here anymore. Death don't live here anymore. I bet you like that freedom, yeah. I bet you like your new name. Oh, welcome to the kingdom. Yeah, we all feel that way. So if you see somebody sleeping like the way you used to be, tell them about the Savior and a little thing called free. Go ahead and say, wake up, sleeper, open your eyes. Oh, sinner, arise, leave your past at the door. Wake up, sleeper, come to the light. Oh, Christ is alive. Death don't live here anymore. Rise up and come out of that grave. Rise up in that amazing grace. Oh, sleeper, won't you come awake? Come awake, yeah. Rise up and come out of that grave. Rise up in that amazing grace. Oh, sleeper, won't you come awake? Come awake. Wake up, sleeper, open your eyes. Oh, sinner, arise, leave your past at the door. Wake up, sleeper, come to the light. Oh, Christ is alive. Death don't live here anymore. Rise up in that amazing grace. Oh, sleeper, won't you come awake? Come away, yeah. Rise up and come out of that grave. Rise up in that amazing grace. Oh, sleeper, won't you come awake? Come awake.
That is Austin French. Yes. In the studio this morning with His Radio. If you missed our any time with Austin French, you can catch it again. Video replay, hisradio.com, Apple TV, and Roku. Thank you for the time today.
Oh, man, this is great. I love seeing you guys.
Me too.